Hello, hello. How is it going? It is the BA on the PA, the baritone on the microphone. Or you can just call me Joel, the host of this show. How is it going? Welcome back to Calling the Shots, the podcast that puts the broadcasters and PA announcers in the spotlight for a change, giving you the chance to hear their stories from behind the microphone. Today, we had a very special guest, born and raised here in Indiana, the voice of the blue and gold, the one, the only, Troy Pepper. He has the best seat in the house there in the field house for the Pacers games. And today he shares some of his stories of things that really mean a lot to him as he came up through the ranks into the NBA and some fun opportunities and some fun gigs that he's had along the way. It was a very great conversation. I cannot believe that I had this opportunity to speak with another top tier talent. Just so thankful to Troy for taking the time. So without any further ado, you don't have to hear me ramble anymore. Troy Pepper, let's go. Welcome to Calling the Shots, the show that puts the public address announcers and broadcasters in the spotlight for a change. Giving the perspective from behind the microphone today, I have a Pike High School graduate, lifelong Hoosier, and the voice of your Indiana Pacers, Mr. Troy Pepper. Troy, how's it going today?
Well, what's going on, my friend? What's going on, Joel? It's nice to meet you, man. Good to be on the podcast. All is well. All is well.
Very cool, man. Nice to have you here. It's wonderful. So yeah, Pike High School graduate. So there's Courtney Lee, RJ Hunter, David Teague, Jeff Teague, Marcus Teague, former Governor Holcomb. Where do you rank yourself on that list?
I'm the bottom. I'll make sure I'm the bottom, man. Don't forget Courtney Lee.
Yeah.
Don't forget. I'm at the bottom of the list, man. But it's always good to be mentioned with those legends over there. All right.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just for, since you are a hometown guy and I've got my Caitlin Clark gear on, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on the zero too. Just why not, right? It's very
Yes,
fitting.
sir. Yes, sir.
So let's go get the zero on.
Yeah, you got to represent. If you're gonna do it, man, you got to do the whole thing. You got to do it
Yeah.
right. Do it right.
Yeah, you can't half step this. So anyway, James Boyd of The Athletic has a pretty well-written story actually on you that was published last February, right around All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
But in case we've got some folks here who have not read that yet, could you tell us a bit about Troy Pepper and this meteoric rise to where you are now in the association?
Absolutely, man. So Troy Pepper, man, born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. Like you said earlier, man, Pike Township, always on the northwest side in my life. Two older siblings. Basketball has always been a priority for our family. We're just big fans. Dad's a big Pacer fan, Colts fan, big in NCAA. We're Notre Dame fans. I'm a Boilermaker, but we grew up. My dad
Okay.
always loved Notre Dame, and so but basketball was the prominent sport that we love watching, being a part of, going to games, and played a big role in my life, man. And so I went to Pike High School, went to school, was a Boilermaker, got my degree in computer science, and got into engineering. But during high school, that's where I was trying to figure out if I wanted to be a broadcaster or engineer or whatever, a chef. And I was on RDTV News, and I was very involved in broadcasts and yearbook club and all that good stuff. But I got to college because I said, man, these guys don't make no money. So let me get something that secure the bag. I wanted some
Mhm.
cash. But I've always kept, announcing and PA announcing at least in my side gigs. And I just kept doing stuff, random middle schools, random tournaments, and MC events. And all that led to, 2021 when the Pacers had auditions and led me to get to where I am today, far as announcing for the greatest basketball team in the world, which the richest history. Yeah, we got Boston fans, we got Lakers, but I don't care. Indiana is basketball. And most people and most legends will say that as well. So that's kind of where Troy Pepper is, how the journey was in a short, little summary. But yeah, that's kind of how my rise was, man. Kept working on my craft, kept staying active
Mhm.
outside of being a consultant in engineering. I just kept doing side gigs, man. And the right opportunity fell on my lap, and hey, the rest is history. The rest is history.
That's awesome, man. That's such a cool story. Just to come up from we come from similar backgrounds, right? I went to community college for a while, ended up at IU, got a degree in informatics. I work in IT here in Bloomington.
Well, first off, I'm sorry that you went to IU. I mean, I know people got to go to college, but I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. As a Boilermaker over here. So,
I don't want to get into the football season. We'll just
you know
skip
what?
back.
We don't have to go there. We don't have to go there. We can stop right now.
No, but you guys are no, it's a they got a lot going on at Purdue though, so I'll give them that. They got a lot of cool stuff coming through the pipeline, I'm sure, and their athletics are going to be on the come up. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
oh
I'll be
yeah.
watching out for them. So you kind of gave us a little bit of like where you started and how you started. I also read that you were the voice of Black Expo. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, man. So really, man, back in college, man, there were certain events I would do for Black Expo. I mean, it could be random. I mean, because the community that I was involved in, there was a nonprofit called the Christopher House, which is located in Hallville, which is right outside downtown. And there's a lot of opportunities that we did collabing with them. And I was a camp counselor, and there were certain little small tournaments they did in the back of Christopher House and random other events. The deputy mayor of Indianapolis at that time was Aldrin Williams, who actually
Mhm.
is a member of my church I go to. And he would, really connect me with a lot of people, far as community wise, and especially within the Black Expo and doing other random events for them, MCing. So it's been a lot of opportunity I had younger when I'm in my younger years with Black Expo. So that was always a lot of fun, giving back to the community and just really showing Black excellence and being in the trenches, getting there with the community. So yeah, that was a big part of my life. Big part of my life.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's good to hear that you're so involved in history, just in general, throughout Indianapolis, through sports, through the Pacers, everything like that. So outside of maybe the Pacers and Black Expo, do you do anything else currently, or maybe around the state that you lend your vocal talents to?
Yeah, so yeah, well, state and nationally too. So I do go to different universities and I do public speak. I did a lot of stuff with the University of Tennessee in Knoxville last year. I've lent my voice to the NBA. I would say
Yeah.
that's definitely taking me some places I would have never thought. NBA Summer League was a big deal last year. First time doing that. Did about 19 games in like 6 days. My voice gone.
Yeah.
It was definitely an experience. But within Indiana, man, it really it's the Pacers. I do the G League, still do the
Mhm.
Fever, and then I'll public speak at different schools that they reach out to me, and I'm always looking for opportunity to give back and to inspire youth and to especially inner city youth. So I'm always using my voice for that, as well as I'm very strong in ministry as well at my local church where I'm the youth leader there. So using my voice in all scales from a crowd of 15,000 to just one-on-one mentoring somebody trying to navigate high school and make that move to college. So lending my voice, man, any way I can, whether it's
Yeah,
yelling
that's
or just
yeah.
talking.
Yeah. I mean, use your voice, use your platform, use
Yeah.
what the NBA and the Pacers have given you, man. That's the way to give back, man. And I wish that more people would be able to do that.
Yeah.
Um, that's that's really inspiring to hear that. So I do appreciate that very much.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Um, so let's get into it a little bit. I use a just a paper roster every game. Um, Tell me about your game time setup. I've just got a microphone and a paper roster, which is sometimes correct and sometimes not. Uh, do you do you have anything in particular you use? Anything special outside of that?
Well, so with the NBA, it's different than high schools. You get a roster that half the time the names are not right. There's nobody giving you pronunciation, so you're doing as you go. Well, the NBA, there's more prep time, and so I can kind of take you through how I get to a game, right? So
Sure,
let's kind
sure.
of break that down because some people do ask me that, and is this different from high school or even college?
Mhm,
And I can actually give you a story about college basketball as well, but particularly with the Pacers. Usually, if I know I have a game, so for example, I got a game tomorrow,
mhm,
G League, at 6 o'clock at the Cambridge Fieldhouse, and the same with the Pacer game. I know the schedule. Usually, those rosters are already, ESPN, so this is nationally known rosters, right? G League, sometimes they can add people the day of, and you're
mhm.
like, who is that? He's not even on ESPN. There's not even a
Right.
name on his jersey. You're like, what? And always some type of crazy last name. You're like,
Mhm.
is this German? Is Polish? What is this, man?
Right.
But with the NBA, man, they give you pronunciations beforehand. So you have to do your due diligence, make sure they email you all pronunciations of everybody in the league or who might be in the league. And you have that chance to go through each team to make sure you're saying those right. And so I usually start 3 days in advance,
Mhm.
work on pronunciations, and then from that, I get to the stadium a couple hours early. And 2 days prior, my producers are already sending me what the schedule is for the whole game. So far as my announcements, my ads, endorsements, all that's listed in the script. What I'm doing first time out, second time out, third time out of the fourth quarter, all that is listed. So I'm going through those. There's presentations, halftime, sometimes there's pregame entertainment with some crazy names. And so
Yeah.
our job is to get people excited, but also get the names right. We got one job. One
That's
job.
the big one. That's the big
That's
one.
the big one, man. And I know you can probably contest. We have seen some names, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
So getting those names, man, and going through the whole schedule, the rundown. And in front of me is the microphone, as well as there's a giant binder with all the if the refs say the rim is crooked, we got a backup plan of what I'm gonna say while the crowd is waiting with music. So
Right.
there's always a plan for a plan. You're
Okay.
always over prepared. And right next to me is our main game operations vice president or producer who makes
Mhm.
sure I'm in the loop of everything going on. If we're going to cancel this, hey, Troy, we have 6 names for this presentation. 3 didn't show up. Don't say this, that, that, that. We have a celebrity in the 50 Cent one time was in the crowd. They say, Troy,
Good.
please call out 50 Cent. I was like, I don't need a script for that. You can find him in the club. 50!
Right.
And the crowd goes wild.
Everybody knows 50.
So it's really a binder, microphone, and you got your headset on. And a lot of people, it's different from like, I don't know how you guys do it, but with my headset, I hear everything. There's a million conversations going on at once. And my first game was a preseason game with the Pacers,
Mhm.
and they were playing Memphis. And I'm just used to like, all right, I got a mic, I'm good.
Yeah.
Put the headset on. I hear a voice. Hey, the lights and da 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 have talking. I'm like, well, is he talking to me? Like, who's talking to me? So there's
Right.
a lot of voices going in your head. Of you got the DJ, you got the sound guy, maintenance guy, facility managers, cheerleaders, lead
Mm.
coach. What time are we coming out? And I'm like, I said, what is going on? So there's a lot going on while you're announcing. By the third game, I was able to kind of tune everything out, and I know the
Sure.
voices of who is talking to me. So, but
Okay.
that's kind of what it looks like. It's a mic, there's binders, there's scripts. I got a pen, I got a stat pad, and then I'm just keeping track of vowels just in case something
Mhm.
goes wrong. And sometimes, we got the greatest stat crew in the world, but they could be a half second too late, and I'm like, I gotta hurry up and say if it's three or I forgot how many
Yes.
team fouls we got, but I keep track of that to make sure everything stays afloat. But while I'm sitting there, man, it's a lot going on. But once that tip off happens, we locked in. We locked in. Locked in. Hopefully that answers your question of kind of
No, it
what it
does.
looks like what we got.
Absolutely. No, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was going for. So thank you. Um, yeah, so you kind of ventured into like your pregame rituals. Do you have anything that you do like as a warm up? Anything that you do like superstition wise, maybe just to get you going?
Man, I don't really do superstitions, but I do park in the same parking spot every
Okay.
single time.
All right.
I do warm ups. I'm heavy on tea, hot tea, honey.
Hmm.
You know,
Yes.
uh, Nothing crazy with voice. I do warm my voice up. I kind of go through lineups while I'm driving to the stadium. I'm pretty good on
Same.
our lineup. They got that by a T.
Sure.
But usually the opposing team, I'm kind of going over every single name to make sure that I'm, pronunciation right and I'm flowing. And some names are harder than others. And sometimes there are players, that are on the bench. I'm praying they don't get in because
Absolutely.
because I'm like, ooh, here we go. Romana.
Yep.
So yeah, it's always rehearsing the names is always when I do pregame. And I drink my tea, my honey, and I take a cough drop. And that's kind of my pregame tradition. Pregame tradition.
Yeah. I've got mine too. Usually coffee or tea for me pregame as well. Some gum, and then I spit it out right at the tip. Uh, because I've forgotten it in, and then sure enough, there it goes.
I've
Or
done that one time and I'm just, rolling with it. Tip off happens. And this is funny actually. There's a clip. You can't see me, but Buddy Hill,
Mhm.
they tipped the ball line, tip off. He hit the fastest three in
Yep.
NBA history.
I
right?
saw that.
Knowing this, I had a piece of gum in my mouth. I just forgot I had it in there. And I put it in there and I'm like, and then they tip the ball off, and then he gets it and shoots it. And I go, three. There is gum going out of my mouth because I was
Yep.
not ready for him to shoot that quick. Like that was insane. He
Yeah, I
almost
don't
caught
think
it in motion.
nobody was ready for that.
No, no, nobody, not at all. But it's funny you said that. Yeah, gum. Yeah, that's a no-no for anybody coming up. PA announcing. Yeah, just make sure you get it out before you start announcing.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I've seen some of the viral videos you have online, some of the TikToks, the shorts, things like that. Buddy was in some of those. Do you have any other like pregame stuff that the players get you involved with, or is it pretty much just waiting until tip?
Yeah, so that's good question. I don't think I've ever talked about this part. Yeah, so usually, I get my, I'm driving in there, do my pregame, warm my voice up, tea and honey. But usually I get to the stadium about, if the game's at 7 o'clock, my first announcement is happening at 6:20. That's
Hmm.
the first time a fan is gonna hear my voice. 6:20, 6:15. And I'm giving a pregame announcement, like welcome to Cambridge, blah, blah, blah. But before that, I get there maybe 5. And I have a whole routine. I go to the media room down there, and there is a dinner area where you'll see opposing teams, commentators, and media team. It's our
Hmm.
media cafeteria, and they have some amazing food there. I mean, amazing. It's top notch, top notch. And usually I get there if I haven't ate dinner. I'll eat dinner.
Hmm.
Sometimes we have steak, pizza, tacos, and it's amazing. Our catering, our food is amazing. And one thing I do also do is we have unlimited ice cream in a soft serve. And so, yeah, I get my cookies and cream and have a ball. But I usually talk to media, social media teams, say what's up, and whoever's in there, I'm
Hmm.
conversating. I saw Walt Frazier one time, which was hilarious. I'm sitting next to
Right.
him. He's
Wow.
clean with his crazy looking suit, and we're just
Yep.
talking about Knicks Pacers. Like it's crazy. And you'll see some legends, like commentary legends, man. I mean, it's Mike. What's the dude name? Bang.
Mike
Uh,
Breen.
yeah, man, I sat next to him eating ice cream, just talking about his history. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. Like for us announcers,
Oh, absolutely.
that's GOAT level. He's
Yeah.
he's he's up there with Marv Albert and everybody else, like in my book. But I usually start in the cafeteria and then I make my way to security people. I'm fist bumping. And then I usually, man, around that time, TJ McConnell is usually warming up. So
Hmm.
if he's not looking, say what's up. I say what's up to TJ, or go to our DJ, and Miles will come in after TJ, I believe. And if I'm on the same side as Miles, shake up with him. So yeah, it's just kind of like whoever's out there we're talking to. Like Tyrese, shake up with him. Obi Toppin, he might be my favorite pacer by far. He's just that dude's cool, man. All the
Best,
way good
one
guy.
of the best acquisitions that come to Indy in
Oh
a long time, I think.
man, not only good, he developed a 3-pointer with us, but he's just all around just one of the most cordial people. My kids have met him. He'll act like he known them all. It's just amazing how good of a person he really is. But my pregame medalist, talking to coaches,
Hmm.
players, and I've been here since 2021. And so certain coaches have left and went to other teams. And so
Right.
every game is really a reunion. Like,
Hmm.
because it's a small group. NBA really is huge, but it's really small.
Hmm.
And you meet a lot of people that you haven't seen in a while. So pregame does consist of, talking to players, coaches, sometimes referees. So some people don't like that, but yeah.
Oh, no, that's yeah. Sometimes the referees don't have anyone else to talk to because they know that they're not going to get love from players or
They're really
fans or
close to
anything
the
like that.
stat crew. That whole table, they're close to. They're close
Yeah.
to. So
So right now, I get. Let's just say right. Who's your favorite player to call?
what are we talking about? Ever? Opposing
Ooh.
Pacers?
Let's do Pacers first. Let's see who's your favorite. It could be starting lineups. It could be mid game scoring play.
I would say my favorite is I'm an intros man. You
Oh yeah.
can't beat intros. And that's where it's me and the crowd. You know what I mean? Like, because during the game, it's the players, it's people are sometimes don't even hear me. They're just watching the game. But
Right.
intros, it's on me.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be somebody's first time hearing live intros, and I feel like I'm like, all right, this is where the bulk of my energy,
Hmm.
comes in at. So I would say intros, man, intros for sure.
Okay. Okay, cool. Let me see here. So like you said, the NBA is kind of a tight community, even though it seems big on the outside. There's a lot of moving parts to it. Are there any PA guys around the league that you kind of like, I don't want to say you incorporate what they do, but you see what they do and they're like, oh, I could use something like that. You try to maybe bring in a little bit of them into your work, or do you just try to keep it as original as possible?
Man, honestly, it's I would say start out. You try to be original, but there's nothing new under the sun. But I would say, my favorite PA guy, hands down, is Olivier Cedra. He's the
Hmm.
Brooklyn Nets PA announcer. And I've been a fan of his, man, since he was back in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And he was how he announced the game. I heard him once live. And I was just like, I mean, it's just he's exciting, but he's professional. And
Yeah.
then he knows how to get gritty. And then he's just funny too. And it's his combination of style is
Hmm.
something I mirrored. I was like, okay, I can be
Okay.
professional, reap announcements today, 2025. Da-da-da, like you can get, and
Hmm.
then it gets crazy. Three, like you know what I mean. So
Yeah, 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 for
combination
sure.
of traditional PA that just reads and go foul number 25, like you know what I mean. But he had the combination of excitement, professionalism, and it's a good mix. So I would say he's one of my favorite to mirror, which I think kind of helped compound my style. And even Michael Grady, that
Hmm.
it's so funny, man. I've always been a fan of him, and since I got the role, he reached out to me, and
Oh,
we've
wow.
been like this, like it's been all
That's
love.
great.
I had to get his approval because I brought back MD, and I said, man, can
Hmm.
I do it? He was like, bro, do it, man. He said the state needs it. I'm like, say less, say less. So
Sure.
getting his blessing to say Indy was a big deal. So I would say the combination of Grady, Olivier from the Nets is my inspiration, and then I
Hmm.
have my own little spin to it that people seem to like, I guess.
That's great. No, that's cool. Yeah, I try to keep mine as original as possible, but you can definitely hear Mike Biamonte and you can kind of hear like Ray
I can hear
Clay.
that in your voice. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. I guess that's part of it, I guess. I can't turn it off all the time. So like I talked about earlier, we just got off of All-Star Weekend last year. We're the most recent host. And you got to be part of that in terms of the festivities and all the stuff that was going on. Which events did you call? And did you get to rub any elbows with like the players from across the league that you don't normally get to see or get to interact with?
Yeah, so I was at some minor events there. I was able to speak at, and then but the main part was the intros. I was able to do the intros for the NBA All Star, which you can check it out on YouTube, which was a crazy moment for me.
Yeah.
But to answer your other question is, yeah, I got to rub elbows with some of the players, man. So if you don't know, I'm a big LeBron fan, big time.
Yeah, myself too. Absolutely.
You don't understand. Like it is what it is. People like
Yeah.
Michael, nothing wrong with it. But I'm a big LeBron fan,
Yeah.
and I was able actually to shake his hand this time, and to be able to actually announce him how I feel like it, with
Right.
enthusiasm. And I just posted on my YouTube. My girls wanted me to announce it a certain way, and I did it their way, and that was an dope experience, man. Just being a fan of him since 2002. Back when I
Right.
was younger,
Yep.
and to see him now, 21 years in a row, All Star starter is unheard of. It's ridiculous.
Right.
But to be a part of year 20 and to call it, he even smirked when I got to his name. He even had a little smile. I said, "Yes, go." But even like I was able to talk to it was weird. I was sitting on the front of the stat place, center court, and lo and behold, guy with braids comes out, sits next to me. I look, it's Kawhi Leonard. And we're talking about something random. Like I don't know how we started talking.
Mhm.
Just stuff like that. I was
Right.
able to talk to Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell. So yeah, I was able to kind of rub shoulders with some of the players, as well as coaches as well. And then the rising star. I went to
Mhm.
practice and I was able to talk to some of the players, shook up with women Yamba. and that was pretty cool too. So yeah, it was a lot of opportunities to talk to different players and stuff. So it was pretty cool. Pretty my first All Star. The whole weekend was amazing. Um, well, here's another announcement. I'm actually going back to All Star. Uh, Going to San Francisco in a couple weeks. I'm going
All
to
right.
be NBA reached out to me, invited me to announce their HBCU Classic. So yeah, I didn't haven't even
Excellent.
announced it yet, man.
Hey, look at that, man. Breaking news right here. You heard it.
Breaking news, man. Come on, let's go. Yeah, so I'll be doing that on Saturday. They may have me doing a couple other things, but that one for sure is the highlight. Is the HBCU Classic game. I
Mhm.
fly out there that Tuesday, and the game's that
Okay.
Saturday. A lot of rehearsals for All Star. I was shocked. I rehearsed those intros almost 20 times, like
Yeah.
full production, fire,
Oh, really?
full band, whole 9 yards. I kid you not. My voice was so worn down
I imagine.
off of the intro rehearsals. I was just like, but I see how the NBA perfects what they do, and the product was amazing. So I kind of get that time. I'm just used to college and NBA. You just kind of get up there and
Mhm.
But yeah, they got a whole production. So, but yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, it was also experience rub shows with players, and I looked forward to doing it in California in a couple weeks, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. That's going to be another incredible little, bucket list item, a little check mark on the box there on the resume.
Hey, two-time All Star.
Two-time All-Star Troy Pepper, right? So, yeah, like we said, I follow you once on Instagram and I see that we like a lot of the same LeBron posts as well as the Pacers
I
things.
see your name. I'm like, this dude is my brother, man.
Kindred spirits, man. That's what it is.
Kendrick Spears, man. Kendrick
And there's
Spears.
probably maybe like six people in Indiana that are following all these small LeBron sites too. So,
I follow
um,
all of them, man. All of them. All of them,
so
man.
was it strange kind of giving that same sort of passion and energy to non-Pacers just for the weekend? I mean, I know we had rivals in town too. So was it a bit weird almost to have that?
Outside LeBron, I felt that was right, but
Mhm.
everybody else, uh, it's definitely different. It's
Sure.
definitely different. You're like, ugh. Anybody who's a Knicks, you're like, oh God, here we go. You know,
Yeah, because the next week you go from Jalen Brunson to basket Jalen Brunson.
oh my God, yes, yes, yes. It's dramatic difference. But for that event, you're like, you know what, we're gonna fight through this, and
Yeah, right.
we're gonna get it done
Put it all aside just for a day.
for a day.
Let him enjoy his time in Indy, and then
Yeah, let him enjoy his time. Let him enjoy his time. Because
let him
literally,
enjoy
what
his
two
time
months
in Indy.
later, we played them 7 games, and that was a crazy series. Oh my God,
I can't remember how that one panned out.
we got the W.
I got some family back home in New York, so they'll be. I just want them to watch this and have to eat that. So, uh, so what advice would you give to someone trying to get into public address, especially at such a high level like the NBA?
Man, my biggest advice, it depends on the age demographic I'm talking to. Now, if I'm talking to somebody who's already a professional, I'll give you two answers. If I'm talking to somebody who's already a professional, who's doing it at the high school level, as their side gig, or college level, which is awesome, um, or even other pro leagues,
Right.
semi-pro leagues too. I know some guys who are doing some great stuff there. Man, I would say, man, it's at that point, you know, it's going to networking events. I think that is the catalyst of me getting other gigs outside of Pacers is I'm active, very active. Like I will go to networking events the Pacers would put together. I go, I've always went to summer league as before I was
Yeah.
an announcer to network because I was trying to get in
Mhm.
sports. And I feel like I would take that trip to Vegas in July and go to the summer league to be around like-minded people who are trying to find jobs, careers. Because all it takes, I've learned in the NBA, is one handshake away, and then you are in a whole nother group now. And so I would just really promote a lot of local teams do networking events from Orlando Magic to whoever. They do those. And I just feel like there's a lot of sports conferences to go to as well. Even in Indiana, sometimes they'll host it and stuff. So Colts have stuff, not just basketball, just PA in general. There's a lot of opportunity to put yourself in front of the people who hire you. You know what I mean? And it's like sales. I've been in sales for years too. You got to knock on all the doors. and you're selling yourself short, looking for that you yeah, it can happen randomly, a unique moment, but
Yeah.
you got to be aggressive with it. So for the person already doing it on a professional level, as far as high school, college, networking events. Now, if somebody in high school who may be listening,
Mhm.
practice. I would do your little brother's PA for their baseball, minor league, like in anything. You know what I mean? Like high school swimming, volleyball. Get your voice, get your style, find your inspirations, find people you want to mimic, and then you'll find your own style. And I say do that while you're in high school and stuff, and eventually get into networking events as well. And then you'll find yourself, man, in some amazing opportunities. And it's not just NBA. There's a lot. I mean, if you get a NCAA team, Division 1 is, you know how hard that is.
I do know how hard that
Yeah, you
is.
know how hard it is.
It's a difficult thing. It's like a boys' club.
It
It's
is. It really is like a boys' club. And even like doing the NCAA tournament, I did the first 2 rounds last year.
okay.
Man, I went to an NCAA networking event,
Hmm.
right? And I just went. I said, let me just network. Like, hey.
Yeah, sure.
And I went, shook hands. Lo and behold, I shook hands with somebody who had that type of power to put my name in the mix to do the first 2 rounds. Had no idea who this person was. Just came, brought energy, smile,
Yeah.
connected online, connected my business card, told him who I was. 6 months later, hey, Troy, I ran into you. Would you be willing to be the voice for the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament? Indiana Sports Corp. Look at their networking events. Buy a ticket to their banquets and galas and stuff. I've met amazing people who I've done private events for the city of Westfield at these random like it's other places you can put your voice in front of
Mhm.
some great connected people, but you got to get out there. Got to get out there.
Yeah, you got to make your own luck a little bit in that
Yeah.
regard. I mean, there's only so much that I mean, there's only so much a resume can do. There's only so
Oh
much that,
man.
like I do high school games and I fill in for IU baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. I've met a lot of great people doing it. But if you don't have those networking events and you don't have a network of people around you or that you can contact, then you can only go so far. And it's tough. It's a shame that that's the way it is, but I mean, if you really want it, you got to go after it.
You
And
got to go out there. And I've learned this: people buy from people. People
absolutely.
invest in people, not resumes.
Right.
Get a good resume. Don't get me wrong. Get a
Oh
good
yeah,
one.
sure.
Get a good one. But and I think too, I would say even build a presence online.
Mhm.
Some things I've connected with people just based on my TikToks and Instagrams.
Oh
Like
yeah.
how I met you.
Yeah,
So
right.
like
Exactly.
you never know who. And what? Now that I know you, now I'm like, you know what? I'm about to ask Joy, does he want to PA or something for somebody I know? Or I got a call once to PA for the USA lacrosse team based on somebody just knowing who I was off my Instagrams.
Did you did you take him up on that one? I know
I
nothing
couldn't
about
do
lacrosse.
it. The schedule, I was very excited to do it.
Sure.
But I was not able to pin it down. Couldn't get my schedule right, so it's unfortunately. But I referred somebody
Sure.
who could
Sure.
do it
Yeah, right.
because they knew me, and I was like, yeah,
Mhm.
I know somebody who can help you guys out.
No, that's great. And yeah,
It's
you
all
did.
about. I mean, it's all about. I'm all about building. I love investing and helping. Great people, man. Like genuine people. I'm all down
Mhm.
for it. But like you said, it's all about networking and putting yourself out there. Shoot all the shot. What did Wayne Gretzky say? You miss what 100% of the shots
That you
you
don't
don't
take.
take. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I also saw that on a Michael Jordan poster too, but I think Gretzky said it first. I don't
He
know.
definitely said it.
Jordan probably would have said something like, "I don't miss my shots," and
Yeah, based
that
on
would have
that
been on the poster.
documentary I saw during the pandemic, I'm like, yeah, this guy would say something like that.
Horace Grant only misses shots.
If I missed, they passed it to me wrong.
Exactly. Right. No. I mean, he was a phenomenal player. Don't get me wrong, but
Oh yeah, all love Jordan. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm not a hater at all. I love Michael Jordan. I love his shoes too. I love his shoes too.
yeah, can't do without those shoes. So do you have a Mount Rushmore of PA or ring announcers? Because I think
Oh,
we're in the
Mount
society of
Rush.
like ranking people now, ranking S tier, A tier. Who are your like two or three that you're like, these are the guys that either I model my career after that or that really motivate me to do what I do. And if you don't have
Man, that's a
one,
tough one. I would say now, people don't kill me. Mike Breen is he's in my top. He's my Rushmore.
Absolutely.
My idol, Kevin Harlan.
Sure.
That's my two. Marv Albert's in there.
Hmm.
And then I would say,
You don't have to say Slick Leonard if you don't want to. I understand that you may feel the weight of obligation, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
oh my goodness. Why are you doing this to me, man? I would say he just passed away, Brian Gumble. No, what's his name? I can't
Greg
think of his name
Gumbel,
right now.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say him. Ooh, that's tough, man. Why are you doing this to me, man? Why?
Yeah. It's a
then
decent
I want to
question.
say John Madden. You know what I mean? Like that's one of my favorite announcers. Period. I just loved him. Like
He was so off the wall. Yeah, he was entertaining. I mean,
that's the like some people just have the voice,
right.
but he was able to. I don't know his coaching expertise, bringing that to the game when he announces as well. I don't know. I loved it. It was one of my reasons I wanted to do broadcasting because I like John Madden. So that would be my top five, top four. That would be my Mount Rushmore.
That's a solid selection, guys, for sure.
What would you
Um,
say yours? What would you say yours is?
oh, why are you doing this to me, Troy? Uh,
you see, I did the Uno reverse card. Bam.
yeah, you did. You did. Honestly, Mike Biamonte from the Heat, just because he's been around for a long time.
Solid,
Not just because I
solid,
interviewed him last week, but
solid.
I love the energy he's had for the Heat. Um, so I would say he's up there. Mike Breen as well. Grady might make the cut. I really enjoyed the Hibbert, George, West era that he
Well, hold
kept
on. I
around.
wasn't. I didn't name PA guys. I was really just doing broadcasters. That was what I
Oh,
was doing.
broadcasters and okay. Well, I was thinking PA and broadcast,
Well,
but
you can do the combination. The combination is fine. I got a whole nother list probably for PA. I have to think about it though. PA, I have to think about it, man.
PA, yeah, if I had to guess PA, might be Monty, Kyle Speller, um, and the Mike and Bruce Buffer.
Yeah, that's
Those two
good.
guys, I mean, they're just energy. They are
Yeah.
the fight before the fight.
Yeah.
And to go back and watch Michael Buffer try to find "Let's Get Ready to Rumble," please don't
Let's get ready
monetize
to
me,
rumble.
YouTube. But I mean, he said something like, "Gentlemen, get to your battle stations." And you could tell everyone in the crowd was like, "Your battle state? What are you? Who? What?" And you could see that he was trying to work through it and find his niche a little bit. But then when he landed on "Let's Get Ready to Rumble," that's when people got invested. They're like, "This is
Yep.
it. This is the one." So yeah, I'd say the Buffer brothers for sure are on the PA Mount Rushmore for
You know
me.
what? I also put like if we do PA, Kyle Speller, I love Denver. That's my guy. I actually got to meet him last year for All Star. He did the
Okay.
HBCU game last year for All Star,
Okay.
and I was able to kick it with him, man, and get to know him. Hilarious. He sings on the mic. He just has a whole nother level of announcing energy. I mean, especially I love his three ball. They hit a three, one, two, and the crowd goes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that's
but I would say my favorite PA would be Alan Roach. He does the
okay.
Super Bowl every year.
Yeah,
He
yeah. Okay. I had to think about that for a second. Yeah.
look up his. I mean, he does NFL stuff. He is to me voice wise like the like
It's
he's he's
it's
probably
art.
he's goaded. He's
Oh,
goaded.
for sure. Absolutely. That's all right. Here's a tough one for you. This is a Pacers question.
Yep.
All-time Pacers moments. You can think back as far back as you want to go. If you had to pick a moment, which one would you want to be on call for?
Are we talking about like in game moments?
In-game moments or any game at all that you think that would be the game I'd want to call. Maybe Reggie's last game or um, Eastern Conference Finals game against like the Bulls or the Knicks or
Oh, I see what you're saying. So I would say, man, I mean, just imagine if there was a GoPro in front of me when Reggie Miller scores 8 points in 9 seconds. Like, you thought I went viral once. I will go viral. I couldn't even imagine the energy and the excitement I would have had if I would have
Right.
saw a man hit that many shots in that many seconds. Like, I would want that moment. Or I would say, oh my God, this is tough.
Tough, right? But it's, I mean, it's just like, we talked about the Pacers have this extensive history, and there are so many great players that have come and gone.
I
Some
would
are
say,
still
you know what?
here.
I would say, I don't care what game it was, but Michael Jordan, Market Square Arena, and we win. We won one of the home games. Like, I would want, I would want that. Just that moment alone. That I couldn't even imagine the excitement that was in that place. Like,
Yeah,
give
I
me,
mean,
give me that. Or I would say this.
sure.
Last one. Here's my third one. The first NBA Finals game against the Lakers.
Yeah.
Conseco Fieldhouse previously.
Eco Fieldhouse 2000. Yep.
I will take that because when we went to the Eastern Conference Finals last season, my eyes was just set. Like, I'm getting the finals game. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is unbelievable. I got an All Star this year, and now a finals game. You can't write a better year.
Right.
I did the first 2 rounds of the NCAA's tournament. I said 2024 was a year, man. Like, I mean, come on.
I mean, that's a red letter year for
In
sure.
season tournament
That's
as
true.
well.
That's right.
So, it was like, you got to think, man. That last season was my favorite season, and my favorite game to announce was Boston versus us in season tournament elimination,
Hmm.
and that was the loudest I've seen us since Miami Heat 2011. Like,
Wow.
good question, man. That's a good question. That is a great question.
Thank you much, man. I appreciate that. That was for some friends of mine in a Pacers group,
That's
a
good. That's
Facebook group
good.
of
That's
mine
good.
that they wanted me to ask, and I was like, that's actually a good question. I'm kind of curious about that, so I will let them know.
I gave you 3 of them, but yeah, you get my point. There's a moment I want to be in.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. All right. Well, that's all I had for you today. Can you tell people where they can find you on socials?
Absolutely. You can find me at Troy Pepper underscore Instagram, X, as well as TikTok and on YouTube as well. Reach out to me. Listen, man, I've had a blast, man. This was some
All right.
great questions. Yeah, this is probably one of the better questions podcasts I've been on for sure. These are great questions, man, and great dialogue. And yeah, man, we got to keep in contact, man. If you never and whenever you want to get on, man, you got my email. Shoot me Instagram message, brother. We can definitely connect for sure, man. So
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you coming on, spend the time. I know it's late in the evening, um, but
I'm a
yeah,
night owl, man. I'm not going to bed for another 3, 4 hours, man. I'll tell you that now.
yeah, I'll be up editing, but I will, yeah, for sure. I'll be up for a few more hours at least. So, but yeah, thank you so much for taking the time. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me to have an Indiana Pacers man like yourself here, an Indiana guy. So that's very cool. Uh, yeah, but anytime you ever need anything, you reach out as well. And it's been a pleasure. So I will go ahead and let you sign off for the evening.